Hello everyone, it's Alina. Welcome to my Soap General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Looks like Dex's choices are coming back to haunt him in the you-know-what. On the Tuesday, February 13 episode of General Hospital, spoilers center on difficult circumstances, a couple realizations, and characters seeking connections. Do not miss this episode. Lately, Dex has been in one risky scenario after another, mostly due to Sonny having a target on his back, but he's also playing with fire considering his history and present affiliation with Michael. Sure, their collaboration is on the up and up now, but that wasn't always the case. Inevitably, Dex finds himself in a precarious predicament. Does it have to do with all these mobster hits going on across the country? Another, more likely, explanation is Brick alerting Sonny about a member of his team having an overseas account with too many zeros. Regardless, Dex is soon to be in danger and he's going to have to seek a way out. When Carly gets an epiphany, she comes to Diane seeking her help for an emergency. Does this have anything to do with Nina wanting to shore up her own magazine by taking back her staff? Last week, Nina did talk to Martin, asking him to identify any flaws in their contracts. If it doesn't have to do with Carly's least favorite person in the world, does it have to do with Drew? In other developments, the surrogacy story is back in play. Molly discovers Christina and Blaze don't live lives in the friend zone. They're actually much more than that. Will this understanding spark Molly's remorse now that Christina is pregnant, or a different emotion? Meanwhile, Elizabeth communicates with Laura, who's going through all sorts of misery right now with Spencer gone and Nicholas in jail. Plus, she has her mayoral duties and has to take care of Ace at the same time. Elizabeth is always wonderful with being a source of comfort for others, and she might be for Laura too. Will she also aid her with a decision she needs to make? Finally, a lonely Ava seeks out a friend. She's already talked to Trina, who 100% needed a shoulder to depend on at this tough moment. Who else can she turn to that can assist lessen the loneliness and whatever else she's feeling? How will Trina work to overcome her heartbreak? On the Monday, February 12 episode of General Hospital, spoilers cope with bereavement, suspicion, and major decisions. Do not miss this episode. Losing Spencer is something Trina never anticipated would happen, and now she's left to mourn the man she loved and the life they could have had. Look for Trina to battle with her grief. She's already determined she'll never set foot in Paris again, and pursuing her dreams in college feels meaningless. What would it take for Trina to move past her pain? Who will she turn to? Laura and Kevin are also suffering with their own sadness, but now they have other things to think about as well. With Spencer and Esme gone and Nicholas in jail, they're the ones taking care of Ace. Suddenly, they have to make a critical decision. Does this have anything to do with Laura's grandson? Recently, Gregory's made his own critical decision. He questioned Finn about moving in together so he'd have somebody around to help should he need it. Plus, he can be close should Violet and Finn need him. So why is he confiding in Tracy again? Is there something else that's wrong? Ruh-roh. Apparently, Carly and Drew find out Nina's trying to create a rival magazine. Is a bitter and spiteful Drew going to allow that to happen? How will Carly and Drew counteract Nina's attempts to steal back her Crimson staff? What's more, how much wrath will Drew unleash all over Nina now that she dares to build her own company? Or will he be able to contain his temper? Who knows whether Sonny will be able to restrain his rage should he discover that Dex has been working on the down low with Michael for months and months and months. When Brick and Sonny discussed, Sonny's number 2 revealed the fact that there's something suspicious about Dex. And now Sonny's suspicious too. What does that mean for Dex? The author's ideas on GH are hers and hers alone. Just know this. Everything's based on pure feeling, be it correct or wrong. When it comes to General Hospital, every fan has their own perspective, and SoapHub is no different. For 5 days we sat and watched the good, the ugly, and everything in between. Here we lead with optimism. Unfortunately, we don't always receive what we want. So here's a summary of GH's week that was, which saw the citizens of Port Charles finally saying farewell to Spencer Cassadine. Sometimes it's okay to devote an episode to a single story. Unfortunately, that's not what happened with Spencer's memorial service. Actually, they didn't spend any time showing the service at all. The mourners arrived, they wandered around, spoke, and grieved together, and then the next second, it was over. We were told Alexis offered a touching eulogy for Spencer, and we heard some in voiceover. But I would have wanted to have seen it for myself. The most poignant moment was when Trina met Cameron and they hugged. In fact, I adored the sad reunion of Joss, Cameron, and Trina. You could feel the history between Joss and Cameron, the initial awkwardness between the two. It felt perfect for him to be there, and I've always admired the bond between Cameron and Trina as well. So it meant a lot that he was there, and I hope William Lipton comes back sooner rather than later. Then something unusual happened. Cameron and Joss walked out to the reception at Windermere thereafter, while Trina returned home with her folks. What? If I had had my desire, I would have wanted to have watched the entire day from the vantage point of these three, the friends who were closest to Spencer. They knew him in ways the adults would never ever get to know him. It would have been fantastic to have the three of them at least stick together the rest of the day. Instead, we had to see Trina go home with her folks. And while I really adore Portia, she's not anybody who has actually sought to sympathize with Spencer. In fact, she worked against him at times. And even though Joss and Cameron didn't always get along with Spencer, they were ultimately friends who battled and laughed and backed each other when it counted. I really wanted more of those kinds of emotional moments, even if Spencer would very certainly turn up alive in the future. Heather Weber mourns Esme. She was over the top with her sorrow, but you could also feel the pain that was at her core. She yelled out at Kevin while basically gushing over Elizabeth. I felt for her while, at the same time, not feeling anything for the fact that Esme is assumed dead along with Spencer. Finn's malpractice lawsuit just completed, and instead of giving us a little bit of a break from people involved in that narrative, they decided to double down on the Gregory ALS tale. Right there at the memorial ceremony, Gregory had a health scare, and then there was a big long chat about what they're going through. It wasn't the time or the location. Having stated all this about Gregory, he had a chat this week that I related to big time. It was the bit about moving in with Finn and how multi-generational families often live under one roof. I hope everyone listens to that. Families have to do what they have to do in order to take care of one another. That is, if it's a possibility. Anna Devine. I can't picture her, once again, being tied down to such a steady post like the PCPD commissioner, but I'm thrilled that this means Anna and Jordan have their in when it comes to dealing with Javier Edka, John Cates at the FBI. Hopefully this means more action moments for Jordan and Anna. Laura and Nicholas. I am particularly loving Adam Huss, who infuses Nicholas with emotion and tenderness. Yet when those barriers go up, they're impenetrable. I would love to see him more often on GH, but who knows if / when that will happen. I think Huss held his own with Jenny Francis, and while I'm feeling a little less sympathetic to Laura's plight these days, I do have pity for someone who's experienced so much loss and suffering. Sunny and Jagger. I don't know why, but I liked this chat even though I know it's not the original Jagger, portraying the guy who knew Sunny such a long time ago. I hope we see more of these two going toe-to-toe. Feels like someday they could be allies. After all, they both liked the late Stone. So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like my videos, please click like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time.